Now, if you're thinking about coming to Florida, listen up. Watch this video. I'm about to go over some things that's going on in the news this week, and it might help you out before you get here. But look, don't worry. I did some digging, and this is another weekly Florida news update. Let's get into it. Now, this first story got Florida man written all over it, all right? Through and through. There was a guy out in Hillsborough County, out in the Tampa area. He steals an ambulance. And the only reason why he stole this ambulance is because wouldn't nobody give him a ride home. So apparently, this guy, he tells the police officers when he gets arrested that he had been drinking for about 2 days. He's stressed out about something. And for some reason, he ended up at the hospital. And when he was leaving the hospital, he asked the EMT for a ride. They told him no. He get pissed and steals the ambulance. See, this the thing. All these ambulances have trackers on them. All right. So they found this thing immediately. It only took them like 5-10 minutes to locate where it was. So they found him just joyriding through the neighborhood. But when they started pursuing him, he goes on the other side of the road and almost hits like 3 or 4 cars. Now, see, this where things get real Florida. All right. Because all of this pretty normal, stealing an ambulance. Matter of fact, if you go over to Google and you Google Florida man or Florida woman steals ambulance, you're going to get a bunch of articles over the last 10 years, all right? But when they go up to the ambulance to get him out of the ambulance, he's inside drinking a beer. And I'm talking about chugging it. And the police don't even stop him. They let him finish the beer. Also, when he was running from the police inside of the ambulance, he had a destination. And his destination was home. And I'm going to be real with you. I think he made it. Because they said for some reason he just stopped right here. This is where he stopped. And they believe that's his home. This might be true, might not be true. All right, next story. So lawmakers in Florida, all right, they're trying to ban this, law where restaurants can automatically charge a 20% service fee. And if you've ever been to Miami, you know how frustrating that is. Well, I won't say it's frustrating because some places do need to do this, because if you got a party of 10, 12, 15 people and each, one of these parties might want to split up their bill, that takes some work, all right? And you served all of these people. Sometimes people don't tip. So they put this law into place, but some of these restaurants, they kind of overdoing it and people are pissed. So the new law wants to protect restaurants and the customers. So what they're doing is that if you got a party of 4 or less, all right, no matter where you are in Florida, even these big cities that automatically put on these service charges, they can no longer put on that service charge. But if you have a party of 6 or more, you getting charged. But there's a loophole inside of this bill. So let's say you do have a party of 6 or more. Let's say you got 10 people and y'all eating, having a good time, laughing, drinking, just enjoying the evening. But one of the people, just one, you just need one person. Now, probably shouldn't even be saying this because y'all gonna ride this out. But if one person says their food was, not to their liking, or something was just wrong with it and they don't want to pay for the bill, they can no longer charge you that service charge on this large group because of one person. Also, the restaurant no longer can turn down, because some places do this. If you got a large group and you got one bill, you get what I'm saying? You want to break it up. But some restaurants won't let you break it up. They'll either do it like in half, that's the most they'll do, or they just won't do it at all. But now inside of this bill, you have to be able to break up this bill according to the party. Now, this, just doesn't go for these bigger restaurants in these bigger cities. Also, the smaller restaurants in these bigger cities are charging 20%. So if you go to like Whataburger or anything like that in some of these cities and they're charging you this 20%, they're no longer allowed to do that. Because I'm going to be real, I'm going to be pissed. I've never been charged 20% at a fast food, I'll say that. But if I am, I'm going inside, okay? They're going to have to see me. They got to explain to me why I got charged the extra 20% and I went through the drive-thru. Y'all ain't did nothing extra. You ain't make me no cocktail. You ain't mix no drink. You know what I'm saying? You ain't make this from scratch. You ain't come serve it to me. Y'all need to take this off. All right, next up, out in Fort Myers, Florida. And if you're from Fort Myers, it's probably Fort Myers. Feel me? There was a guy woke up, on the 13th of March and said something, A, don't smell right, and B, what's that noise? There was an alligator in his kitchen. Could you imagine going into your kitchen and maybe go scramble you some eggs, make you some French toast or something, bowl of cereal, and you look down and it's an 8-foot alligator? I'm done right there, heart attack. Now, the homeowner said, look, of course he was shocked, but he said he didn't know what to do. He said, man, look, I got to wake up and do this already today. 9 o'clock in the morning, I got to tussle with an alligator. So he let the alligator be, okay? Took his family outside the house, and he called the Florida Fish and Wildlife. So while they were waiting for the Florida Fish and Wildlife, this alligator is roaming through the house, chewing on stuff like a little baby puppy. This is Florida, ladies and gentlemen. So they asked the homeowner, how did this alligator get in your house? He said, look, man, we leave our door open all the time. This is Florida, so they, like to catch that breeze. And he bust through the screen door, just tore through it. He must have just bust through the door and got in the house, because if y'all, kind of know anything about yesterday, it was storming a little bit. Maybe bruh just got a little bit confused the way he was going. Now, I know a lot of people like, how can an alligator, what are the chances of an alligator getting in your house? It's a high probability that an alligator could come right in your front door in Florida. The thing is, we're building a lot of houses. We're tearing down a lot of wood so people can live. And the thing is that sometimes you might be doing stuff to invite the alligators and you don't even know it. Let me explain. So, the Florida Fish and Wildlife, they say, one of the main reasons that alligators are so attracted to homes is that usually on trash day, people putting their trash out and things like that. But if you, eat a lot of seafood or you throw out a lot of rotten meat, chicken, stuff like that, they're smelling that from a distance. Stop putting rotten meat in your trash can, because they coming. All right, last but not least. So they just put out, the new list of happiest cities in America. And I'm going to be honest with you, Florida barely made it. Ain't nobody happy in Florida. So, no city in Florida, not Nan City, all right, entered into the top 20 most happiest cities in America. But we did break the 100, all right? We got 2 of them, which is a way big difference than last year. We had about 7 or 8. Like, Fort Lauderdale was on there. St. Pete was on there. A couple other places was on that list. But this year it's a little bit different because we only got 2. And the main one, the number 1 one, is Pembroke Pines. How? So apparently this area has a really, really good community. And that's what makes everybody so happy, because they didn't even rank on the, job, part, income. They ranked really high on that. I think they were like 200 and something. But they scored so high on the just happy about the community that it got them in the top 100. Now, they say the main reason why this community is so happy is about 8 years ago they built this here. This is the Pine City Center. I hope I'm saying that right. But when they built this, it brought the community together. You know what I mean? And there's food, shopping, all kind of entertainment. But I'm going to be real, okay? The reason why everybody's so happy around here, they got money, all right? I think the average income is $102,000. That's average. Them people happy because they living. Now, the other city that made the list is Orlando, Florida. And the reason why they made the list is because of job security, okay? All right? That's it. That was the highest thing they had, because everything else was way down. Way down. And I think they coming in at like number 66 on the list, 67. So, we got a little work to do here in Florida. We got to get happy. Now, look, I don't know what y'all going to do to remember this. Like it, comment, share it. I don't know. But the more you know. Peace.